So today is Friday, the first full day of classroom work. Today we will be going through both good and bad habits of retail and institute traders, as well as long idea generation. So at the end of today, our students will be able to pitch 1 or 2 good long ideas for our next classroom session on Monday. Should be a good one. All right, good morning everyone.
I'm just gonna start with an overall layout of why it's good to have the rules we have and the process we use and how that can give you an edge, and then we'll start digging into a little more details as the day goes on.
We didn't advertise it because we didn't know if we was able to make it, but he should be able to be here for Thursday and Friday. So especially for some of you guys that are looking to maybe transition the industry, he can give you some advice. He's very well respected, so we're looking forward to having him here. Everyone's looking forward to it. It's easy to learn. It's easy to get rid of bad habits once you know what they are. And these are probably half the questions. There's probably twice as many questions you should be asking yourself. But these are a sample of the questions you should always be asking yourself anytime you invest in something. I think all of them have went through the PTM, so they're all at relatively the same level, and they're all getting better. I can see just from 2 hours that they're all getting better and much more knowledgeable in their questions and how to eliminate bad habits.
I'm one of the 3 winners of the scholarship contest here in Destin. Won a portion of the essay contest here, and so we're here to learn how to make money and turn ideas into hard dollars. Here, especially when you can, create a juxtaposition to the university. I mean, they have slides too, but the teachers are reading it there, and they ask a question, and nobody says anything, and then they just move on. And here, it's the slides are really just a reference point, and we're really just talking back and forth. And if you don't know something and there is a question asked, it's not a move past it, well, here's the answer, and you'll forget it in 5 minutes. It's somebody needs to say it because you need to learn it, and it's important, and that's why we're asking it. And so it's nice to get some interaction. It's difficult to think that it gets better from here, but yeah, I'm happy.
So the first one is kind of like a science, and the second one, the qualitative, is sort of like an art. If that makes sense. So trading is kind of like a scientific art. There's some science and some art to it. So what you want to do is come up with one long idea, at least as a group, one good long idea, and you will all present your long ideas to me on Monday, and I will tell you what I think of them, and I will show you actually what a good long idea, how to find them, how to look it up online, and how to pitch a long idea. So let's go to. This is probably the best analysis I've seen in a while. And this was done this was the first mentoring call after Thailand. And as you can see, it's well thought out, the process, but more importantly, his qualitative analysis. He did all the qualitative analysis on top of that quantitative analysis to come up with a very good trade idea. And the stock is actually up 40-something% since he put this on.
It is very helpful to see the detail, the organization of everything, what you need to have to go through to present a proper example of everything.
Is there? You were talking about beaches. Is it good beaches in South Carolina? Myrtle Beach. Yeah.
They're drawing lines on charts.
Do the qualitative stuff first, and then look at the chart.
Yes, I just want to give them a little intro into options, just the basics, just to make sure that they know what we're talking about and they understand the terminology when we, discuss it. And like that everybody's on board, and then we can get deeper into it next week. There has to be some type of catalyst for the thing to move. So which is why buying options, because you have some long-term idea, especially some value play. Well, you don't have time to wait, unless you buy leaps, which are really far out expiration options. But you just don't have that time. Time is against you continuously. I lived in South Florida for a long time. And this was in the mid-90s, and I used to fly actually cargo planes out in the Caribbean. So that was an interesting experience, but it led me eventually to realize that wasn't really what I wanted to do. I was able to get a job at Franklin Templeton, down there, which is a $300 billion fund. And started at the bottom there and worked my way up to the trading desk. And that was about 20 years ago. So here we are now. The mentors, they all come from professional backgrounds, so they're not necessarily educators by them, in themselves. They are professional traders, fund managers, and that's what we all have in common. And it's also been an eye-opening for me to see the interest that retail people have in this stuff. I was pretty blown away by that. Like, I didn't expect that at all, because I always dealt with people that are in my business where it's just a job and it's not a big deal. But then you start hearing these, how everybody is so hungry to learn this stuff from people who actually been there and done that. That is something that was really appealing to me. What you could do is you could sell calls against it. So you'll collect the premium without taking the risk because you already hold the stock. Right? So if it goes against you, then you're gonna have to basically, you already have the stock. So you're not, it's called being naked versus being covered.
It's like you're looking at a big blurry painting of colors, and the more, like I hear from Ben and Raj, that the more the camera kind of comes in focus. So, it's good stuff. We're gonna kill it, man.
I can see the hamster wheel spinning right now amongst their heads, so it's a great success.
Scratching the surface right now, but what we learned in 15 minutes was more than I've learned in the last 6 months with what I've been playing around with options. And an eye-opener, definitely.
And he nailed it. So that what I was just saying,
You taught yourself on paper, or is that something that you learned?
I kind of taught myself that, and
It makes me feel like I'm at the best university ever.
and you aced the options part. You were